Girl the boycott.
Girl the boycott. It's funny.
It's funny. Ha 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 ha.
Ha ha. Aren't we all laughing?
Yeah.
I didn't know you tried to get your license.
And couldn't. Yeah.
Ahoy! Welcome back to Girl Historians.
I'm Carley.
I'm Blair.
And this is the comedy podcast where we talk about history and our girls.
And today's our special St. Patrick's Day
Yeah.
celebration extravaganza due to the fact that it's March.
Famous St. Patrick's Day month.
Famous St. Patrick's Day month. I was trying to think what my favorite St. Patrick's Day memory was, but then I had like a really disturbing realization that I don't have any because they're all just getting really drunk.
Yeah, I never really celebrated it growing up at all.
Real.
Even though my family is Irish, it's just like it's not like a real Irish holiday. Like
No, it's like a drunk college student.
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. Then famously, I went to a university with no student life,
Which is so sad.
I know. It's like I don't feel like I've lost anything because I don't know what I've lost.
Well, and you would have died at a kegger, respectfully. Like, there's no way that you wouldn't. You would be at
I would have had
like,
alcohol poisoning.
Oh, immediately. Like, well, we talked about this on the podcast before, but when I was redoing my like smart serve training to legally sell alcohol, and I was like,
"You guys
I can't serve you alcohol.
Yeah, I get drunk very easily. I'm teeny weeny. Yeah, I really liked last year you did the Darty, and that was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
That was a good time.
I like that. I'm kind of bummed I don't think I'm doing one this year. Just because it falls in the middle of Toronto Sketch Fest, which is really annoying.
I know. It's so annoying.
And
only for us. But
Only
for
for us.
everyone else, it's like, well, that's a fake thing.
That's a
but I'm
fake
like,
thing.
well, I've got to see Reese's show and Blair's show.
yeah. And
Where will I
that
find the time?
takes up a lot of time. No, it really is. My next like 2 weeks, I'm like, I gotta be at Sketchfest. You guys don't understand.
Yeah, that's the national holiday.
It's really, I remember we knew a guy last year who got in a fight with his girlfriend because she was like, you have to come to this thing that I'm doing. And he was like, I can't, I have to see Sketchfest shows.
And like, here's the thing. I understand that out of the context, you hear that story and you go, that's crazy. But in context, I'm like,
Yeah, you kind of have to see Sketchfest shows.
Well, that's a big thing that was very common is like people have partners and then they start doing comedy and then you break up with your partner because they just like don't get it because your schedule gets fucked up.
Yeah.
Your schedule is like all you want to do now is stay out late and talk about improv, which is like for most people insane.
Yes.
Like why would you spend your life that way?
Yeah, like also how much can you talk about improv? And the answer is a lot.
You would be
Surprised
surprised
at the hours of conversation. Just about it, not even about comedy as a whole.
Improv
Just
comedy.
about improv comedy.
I know, we should there was like, when I was first starting to do comedy, there was this improv podcast called The Backline shout out. And I remember listening to it because they'll do like, it's like, I listened to it, but it's like, it sounds crazy if you don't care about improv, where it'll be like a full fucking episode dedicated to sweeping the scene. Like, it's insane. Object work. And then they just talk about object work.
Yeah.
But it is interesting. Like,
well,
and that's what we should do. We need to have a spin-off podcast of Girl Historians.
Oh, yeah.
That's just us talking about improv technique.
I think we should put it like in the same feed as Girl Historians too. Like, don't even change it. Just say like we're improv historians now.
Yeah, we're gonna like Trojan horse it.
Yeah,
really trick everybody into listening to us talk about technique.
Really sneak it in. Yeah, because also like I don't know anything about object work really. Like I kind of hate it, but lately I've been really obsessed for that. And when I say lately, I mean the last year and a half.
Yeah, me too.
The only object work I've been obsessed with doing is running a Keurig.
Yeah, but that is fun.
And it does not read on stage at all.
Whenever we're in like an office setting, the copier is broken
Yes.
and I'm trying to fix the copier.
Yes.
And there's an actual scene going on, but I'm just like, bang, bang.
Yeah, like you're just
is
trying
it starting?
to fix it.
No? Okay.
No. Bang,
Yeah.
bang.
Because it like
poke buttons.
gives me something to do.
Exactly. It is fun to walk on when a scene is happening and just kind of like
silently do your own thing.
Silently do your own thing. But the worst is when you're trying to do that and someone turns around and goes, "What are you doing over there?"
My own fucking thing.
It's like, shut up.
I know. I think
no idea.
we don't have to get into this. I was just going to be like, I think we're being too programmed that everybody who walks on stage is like an invitation to talk to them.
Yes.
That's not true. No. And I know you guys fucking care.
Yeah.
I know you guys are listening at home on the tips of your little seats.
The tips of your seats.
The tip of your seat, frothing at the mouth, chomping at the bit, to
frothing
hear
at the
us
mouth.
talk about the impacts of comedy podcasts on live improv.
No, and it is huge.
It cannot be stated.
No, it's like when you finally like find like the mother of the newest comedy voice. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like when you're on TikTok and you like find the creator who has like 1 million views and you're like, oh, that's why everyone's talking like that.
Yeah.
Like that's why everyone's doing that bit. I found the SCOBY or whatever the kombucha thing is. Do you know what I mean?
No. I'm really out of the loop now.
Well, you know how when you brew kombucha you have a SCOBY?
Yes.
Yeah. Like the mother SCOBY.
Oh, you're just saying.
comedy.
I thought people were saying SCOBY.
Oh no.
No, you're just saying like the SCOBY of what people talk that
of
way.
what people are talking about.
Yeah, definitely. But there's only like. No, we don't need to talk about that. I could. The problem is, I could, Blair. I could talk to you for hours about improv.
I know you could. I actually think you could talk
clicking
longer
off.
than me. For
Yeah.
sure.
No, here's the thing about
I
me.
tap out.
I'm jaded.
Yes.
And, I'm constantly like, oh, ha, 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 comedy is stupid, ha, 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 ha. But I ride or die for improv. Nobody wants to talk about improv more than me. Like, I love
Yes.
improv, good improv. Because I think the thing is, everybody who hasn't seen good improv is picturing the stupid improv they've seen.
Yeah.
Not to be like to pat myself on the back and to pat you on the back, but like we do good improv. It's funny.
Yes,
like
it's
you just
fun
have to trust
improv.
us on that. I understand. Like I think if I too was listening to somebody talk about improv and I didn't know who they were, I'd be like, well, what you're doing is corny, right? But it's not. And I could talk about improv until we've talked about how I've dedicated a decade of my life to doing improv.
Oh, same girl.
This July, it will be 10 years.
Horrifying.
Crazy. I'm an expert. I've done my 10,000 hours. But the thing is, nobody gives a fuck about improv. Like, I can't make a career out of it. If I was doing stand-up for 10 years, maybe we'd be somewhere. But there's something really beautiful about that.
Well,
about dedicating
I felt
your
really
life to
validated because Caleb Heron was talking about how he started in improv, like his thing, like his real passion is improv. And I was like, okay, this makes me feel better because this is the funniest man currently.
the funniest person.
Yeah. Like just the funniest funny.
So funny.
Just funny.
I'm
always giggling.
I'm always giggling.
Always giggling.
Giggling. And
Let's get him on the podcast.
we should, honestly. I'd be too nervous.
I would actually be too. I would want to fight.
You're fighting and I'm like, why are you fighting
You know
him?
who my dream guest is on the podcast right now?
Okay.
Cardi B.
Obsessed.
I sent you a reel of
I
her
did.
talking about Eleanor Roosevelt. She knows her shit, dude.
Yeah, let's get Cardi on the podcast.
I think we could get Cardi on the podcast. Like, what'd she do? She'd probably eat it up.
Yeah, we'd have to bring her to the studio.
Oh, absolutely.
I think she'd look like that Robert Pattinson picture if she came into my house. Like, I think she'd be like, what the fuck? I know that I think, like, she kind of came from poverty, right? Isn't that a thing? Like, she used to...
she was a stripper, wasn't she?
Yeah. So I feel like she has actually seen,
Not saying the
regular
strippers
homes.
all live in poverty, but they're
I don't know if
regular.
she was living
They're
in
regular
poverty,
people.
but she was, like, middle class, at least, let's say, right? So it wouldn't... She has been at regular houses, but I feel like at this point now she's kind of forgotten what a regular house is. And she's like, you live here?
Really?
Are you okay?
Here? Are you okay?
This is like your office. This is like
like
your studio, right?
You could just say that though. You could just be like, "Oh, I rent this on the side." My real house is so big and scary. I didn't want to bring you there because people
Because you get lost. You get lost.
You
in
get
how
lost
big
in
it
the different
is.
wings.
I had a friend in elementary school who had a elevator in her house.
I have a friend right now whose parents have an elevator in their house.
Epitome of wealth.
It's it's bananas.
It's bananas. Why? Your house is
to
two
get up
stories.
and down.
It's
to get up and
crazy.
down.
And let's be clear, this was not a mobility thing.
No.
I understand having an elevator in your house if stairs pose a threat.
But you know what the better thing is when you get one of those seats where you go.
Oh my god!
Where you go up and down the
love
stairs.
those. I
Oh
want
my
one of
God.
those. I don't even have steps in my house, and I want
yeah.
one. I would be up and down on that thing.
Girl, the way that the same friend who has an elevator in her parents' house, her parents' cottage, has that thing going up and down the stairs.
God, dude!
And the way I was riding that thing.
That is
I was
so
like, but I was
fun.
like kind of embarrassed. I was like, I need everyone to not look at me while I do this, just in case something goes wrong and I fall. But you don't. They're really safe.
Hell yeah!
You just strap yourself right in and just.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
This is a childhood friend too, who when you have things from your childhood that you just kind of readily accept, and then as an adult you're like, actually not normal.
Yeah,
at all.
actually, that was weird.
So her dad was like a hunter, which was
Awesome.
not necessarily uncommon where I grew up in Maryland.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like everyone was doing it, but it wasn't uncommon for like it to be a hobby. Like, that part didn't give me pause. But they
Yes.
had so much taxidermy animals around their house. Like
Ooh.
they had like in their like foyer where like
Not the foyer.
I know, literally. Well, they had an elevator. You think you're gonna get an elevator and you don't have a foyer?
Yeah,
They
for
had
real.
like birds that he had shot, like in like kind of like a sculpture, like hanging from the ceiling.
Oh, God.
Deer heads and stuff like that. But we'd play hide and go seek because if you have a friend in a mansion,
You got to play hide and
the
go
first
seek.
fucking thing you're doing is you're playing hide and go seek.
Yeah.
Also, I love hide and I would play it now.
I've played hide and go seek as an adult, and it is really fun.
It's so much fun.
It's really, really fun. And I think we're all a little bit too embarrassed to admit
Well, we've done
that
it a
that's
couple
what we wanna
times on
do.
the island.
Oh, we have done it on the island,
Yeah.
but I missed it that one time.
That was fun. We'll do it again.
And then you guys had the best
I know.
fucking time of your life.
I know,
and I had to
that's
leave.
tough. That's
It was
tough.
rough.
It's kind of the thing that you hope never happens, where if you have to leave or you're not there, it's
Yeah.
not going to become like a canon memory.
Yes, that everyone's going to reference for the last year.
And more. I would say more. I feel like that was
Yeah.
2 summers ago.
Oh, yeah, no, we're still talking about it.
And we're still fucking talking about playing hide
And it
go
was
seek on
terrible
the
because
island.
I was leaving and Ben was coming in. So Ben and I kind of switched off.
And then Ben brought the party.
And then Ben had a great memory making day. What the fuck? I don't even remember what we did before Ben came.
I know. I remember we went to dinner at the restaurant that burned down.
Oh, yeah, that restaurant did burn down.
Yeah, they're rebuilding
Isn't
it though.
it weird that things can burn down?
It's insane. It
It's
feels like
weird.
old timey stuff, even though it's such a possibility
Yes.
to happen at any point. It does not feel real.
Feels like we should have had, like, science should have solved fire
Yeah,
by now.
and yet
And yet, water's the best we came up with?
that's insane.
Some
Like, no.
firefighter right now is
Screaming,
She's
screaming.
talking about. She doesn't know what she's talking about. The fire. And yeah, I would too.
Yeah,
But you know what? If you're a firefighter, hit me up in the DMs.
you have a girlfriend.
Well, just to be friends.
Oh, okay, that wasn't clear.
Yeah, sorry. So today I got hit with a wave of period cramps that were so
Horrible,
bad.
horrible.
And it was like, I think I was already feeling like a little bit frail because I was at work last night until 2 a.m. because there was a psychic witch who was doing a show. And then
Okay.
afterwards she read my tarot cards. And
Oh no, what'd she say?
she honestly, like, not too much. She told me here's the thing. Whenever like someone who's like, oh, I'm mystical tells me something, I'm like, yeah, I know. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
she was like, you need to like leave your job. And I was like, yeah, like I'm trying to. Like,
So thanks for that.
So thank you.
I'm actually aware of that.
I do know that. She's like, you want a new job? And I'm like, well, kinda. Like, I don't know. Like, and then she was like, if you quit your job, people will start giving you money. I'm like, girl,
You can't tell me that.
Version of
You can't tell me that.
like what version of like respectfully? Who?
Yeah, give me more specifics.
Give me more. If you give me specifics, if you give me somewhere to seek out these people who are going to hand me money,
Then I'll go.
then I'll go. Then
Yeah.
like help me.
Yes, you're kind of like a frayed wire at the moment.
Yeah.
I one time had a psychic, and this is something that has come true quite recently. It's tell me that I had real problems with my root chakra.
Oh.
But then she tried to sell me stuff, and then she also said some transphobic stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
And then, so I was like, whatever. But then recently, I've been doing my pelvic floor PT,
And that is your root.
that's my root chakra.
Whoa.
But also, part of me wants to be like, and this is the thing when in the traders, they often have a psychic, and the psychics are not like I can. There's a lot of kind of woo woo stuff that I will accept, but I think somebody who's just like proper, just psychic, like not anything else, just like I am
a psychic.
I'm kind of always a little sus on. As opposed to somebody who's like tarot. And there's people who are involved in the tradition of it all. I respect that. I think that
Yes.
there's something really beautiful about that.
Yes.
But somebody who's like going on TV to be like, I'm a psychic, and speaking in absolutes always gives me a bit of a pause of just
Yes.
being like, you know, I know a lot of people who are like kind of seers in the sense that they're like, I'm in tune to the universe and I just try to tell you what the universe is saying to
Yes.
me, as opposed to being like, I can see the future.
Yes.
I'm always kind of like,
And I talk to
okay.
God and I perform.
Yes, that's always a little suspect to me. But they oftentimes are not, they get kicked out of the game pretty fast because they're special personalities. But they're often not wrong because they are good at reading people.
Yeah, like you can read a vibe.
Yes.
And
they're very in tune to vibes.
Yes.
So, and I'm like, it's not crazy that you look at me, a very tightly wound individual, and go like, your root chakra is a fucking problem.
Your root chakra. You got to
need
fix
to
your
get
pelvic
fucked.
floor.
Yeah, exactly. That's what she meant. And I'm like, it's like my pelvic floor.
My pelvic floor.
I haven't seen a psychic in a moment, though. Maybe I should go see one.
I do want to go see one, but I do feel like I haven't seen a ton of psychics, but I feel like I always kind of get the same thing.
Yeah, I kind of want to see a tarot. I feel like that's what I want to do.
Yeah. I haven't been really reading. I read tarot. I haven't really been reading tarot as much as I usually do lately for no real reason other than like I felt like I was kind of beefing with my deck for a while.
Yeah, and you wanted to give it some space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes me sound crazy, but you know.
I know what you mean, though.
Yeah.
You're kind of crazy. So I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, you know when you're beefing with a deck of cards.
Yeah.
And that makes sense.
Things are real. Objects are real.
Objects are real. And they have feelings.
I've been doing my morning pages for the Artist
Way.
Yes, I have been doing.
So you're unwell?
Yeah, I'm not doing great. Well, I've been hitting such creative roadblocks with the book, and then I was reading about how Doechii did The Artist's Way like 3 years ago or 5 years ago, and now Doechii's winning awards. So I'm like, I need to be doing the art. I simply need to do The Artist's Way.
Yeah. It'll fix you.
Yeah. And I wrote this like little in my morning pages, this like essay basically about the Unabomber shack, which we've talked about here before. And I have such a tendency to like ascribe sentience to objects. I'm like, I feel sad that now the Unabomber shack, it started its life very like alone and as this like vessel of anger and bitterness and hatred and hurt and pain.
Yeah.
But then it became this like, it got moved to like the museum and everyone got to see it. It got to be around like
other shacks.
Other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And understand that like people
tuck in different energy.
Are not inherently full of pain to the point where it's all consuming.
Yeah.
And now it's just after being around like kids like screaming and being able to like dare each other to like go inside and giggling and like adults and whatever. Now it's just like alone again in a warehouse.
Oh wait, that's sad.
Isn't that really fucking sad?
Oh. No, I ascribe so much emotions to objects.
Great, I'm sad about the Unabomber shack.
No, it's terrible.
Good.
Oh, that's so sad.
I know.
Oh, that's kind of beautiful though.
Thank you.
Gotta publish that shit.
Maybe. I've been flirting with making a Substack. The real is on Substack now. Like companies are getting on Substack, so it feels like now is the moment.
Yeah, you gotta get on.
If you're not gonna get on it now, I feel like it's gonna take off without you.
Yeah, I know. Well, I've been saying I was going to start a Substack in December, and then instead I started dating someone, fucking took up all my Substack time.
Horrible.
So now I'm launching a Substack at some point.
You have to do it now. Tory Burch is on Substack. Fuck.
What the hell was up with those flats, eh? We all just ate those. I mean, I never had a pair.
I never had a pair
either,
but people
bitches did.
But people really did.
No offense, sorry.
We love you.
Love you if you're wearing the flats. But like, you know what I mean? Like, we just ate that up.
I know there's a lot of items of fashion that now I'm like, that was fully fucking ugly.
Like a lot of design, like what was with like in 2013, like every designer item had that huge gold coin.
Yeah.
Like the Tory Burch had it, the Michael Kors had it.
Yeah, there was some gaudiness post.
Yeah.
Financial crash.
They were like,
those big old Michael Kors watches.
Oh,
chunky fucking watches.
It's like, how could the recession be hitting me? I have so much metal right now.
But I'm literally jingling jangling.
I'm jingle jangling right now.
Yeah.
I don't have any money problems. I'm jingle jangling.
Yeah, so I couldn't. Literally, scientifically, it's impossible.
Literally, poor people can't jingle jangle, and that's
a fact.
That's a fact.
That's actually a fact.
That's a fact.
Nobody in the Great Depression was jingle jangling. They were in the bread line. They were swishing, just going.
They're swishy. They're squish.
Because there's no metal on their body.
No, there isn't. They're just fabric and bread and yeast.
Horrible.
Ew. Freaks. Yeah, you should start a Substack. We could both start.
Yeah,
Substacks.
And just kind of update. Because I kind of feel like if it's like more essays and stuff like that, I won't charge people because it's like, who knows what I'm updating. My concern is always being like, what if, you know what I mean? Like, what if I don't write something new every month? Yeah. You know what I mean?
My fear, so much of my life is, and I've been trying to move away from this, but so much of my life is guided by like, what if someone gets mad at me?
Oh, me too.
And I've been trying to move away from that, but it really is like the guiding principle a lot of the time.
It's a survival instinct.
Yeah. Like how much am I willing to let someone maybe get mad at me to make this decision?
And it should be a bit more. Right? We should all be allowed to have a little bit of more like risk aversion, but instead of risk aversion, it's mad anger aversion.
Yeah.
There's people who do not give a fuck if people are angry at them, and I'm not them, and I'm really jealous of them. Like, I was talking with someone today about one of my old bosses because they still work at a place that I quit. We were talking about the boss, and she's like a good project manager, but not really a people leader,
Yeah.
she'll say some nuts shit, which was why I ended up eventually quitting, amongst other things, was being like, I can't. Like,
Your
I
attitude
can't.
is too much.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I was saying, like, I think it's kind of iconic because so much of your life, if you're a woman, is spent, and I think probably extend to other groups as well, but I can only speak of being a woman, right? Is spent like watching your tone, right? Like,
for
and being
sure.
like, I need to watch my tone. I want to make sure people don't take this the wrong way or are mad at me. And like, she does not give a fuck about that. And I'm like, that's kind of iconic to just be
It's kind of nice.
yeah, to just be like, I do have a really, and I'm not saying this woman is, but I do have a real soft spot in my heart for just kind of like bitches. It's the same thing when I read Didion and Babbitt's, that book.
Yeah.
And I have issues with it. I liked it, but I, you know.
You have thoughts.
I have thoughts.
Yeah.
And it was very like pro Babbitt's and very anti Joan Didion. I think people don't like Joan Didion because she kind of like is a bitch. And that's why I love her. I'm like, yeah, she's a bitch. Like, she's complicated. I like people who are complicated. I don't know if I'm like, oh my God, ethically the best person in the world, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's like what makes people interesting. I've been trying to like tone police myself a little bit less because sometimes I feel like I come off more aggressive when I'm like policing my tone. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Like sometimes we like, not to make anyone mad, but like if one of you doesn't do this, you're really gonna screw us all over. Where it's like,
and people are like, oh, you're mad. As opposed to just being like,
mad.
hey guys, can someone do this?
Can someone do this? Like, yeah, like, oh my God, in this bridesmaid group chat I'm in, like, I should probably cut this, but like, but like, especially when you're in group chats with women in them, I do find that like, it's hard to get things done because no one wants to be rude.
Of course.
And it is kind of like, hey.
And that's, you know, a tool of oppression by the patriarchy. It's like,
absolutely.
If you're spending all your time making sure no one gets mad at you and doing your makeup, you can't like, I don't know, start a revolution.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like, I think it is a little bit like, it can be a little bit frustrating where it's like, okay, well, like, let's speak in plain terms a little bit.
Let's just say what we mean and we'll all assume that it's not personal. That's something I'm really trying to internalize, is like, nothing in life is personal.
Yes.
Like nothing. Even if somebody's acting in a way towards that is personal, it's not about you.
Yes.
It's about your relationship or how they feel about it, but it's not personally about you. You can internalize it and make decisions and change it.
Yes.
But nothing is personal.
It's also like, I watched this reel literally right before I left. That's kind of like, and I think that she was talking about something else that had been like written elsewhere, but it's like the cost of community is annoyance. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Where it's like, and it's so true, where it's just like, I think that because we kind of are coming out of this like era, and I think we are still in it, a lot of like people like protecting their peace and like, I don't owe anyone anything. I'm protecting my peace, whatever. And then they complain that they don't have community.
It's like, no, you should owe people things.
Yeah. And also like, you should learn how to live with people that you love and care about annoying you sometimes.
Yes, agreed.
Like, I think it's really weird when people like, even like I had a conversation with a friend a couple of weeks ago where she was like, I'm really annoyed with this person, but I don't want to shit talk them. And I'm like, when did it become shit talking to want to air kind of like an interpersonal issue you're having with someone?
Especially because I think sometimes when I'm feeling that way, I'll always be like, cone of silence, don't spread this. It's not gossip. And I'm not going to do anything about it.
Yeah.
In the sense of being like, I don't want this to color the way you see this person. I obviously don't care about it enough to do anything about it. So it's fine. And I don't want this getting back to them. But it's okay to be like annoyed.
Oh, yeah. I've been annoyed with everyone I care about.
Yeah, but that's part of life.
It's normal. And I think that like, if you think that that's not part of it, like,
it's a relationship, right? Like a friendship is the same thing as a romantic relationship, in that like, if you have an issue in your romantic relationship, you're not just like, let's break up.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're just like, oh, let's talk about it, or I'm gonna move on.
Same with your parents and your siblings and stuff like that. Like, I do think like it's a different thing if you're just like angry all the time, then maybe you need to sit down and figure out what's going on there.
Yes, of course. But it's normal to be a little annoyed, especially understanding that like, it's also, you might be acting in a type of way. Like sometimes I'll get annoyed and then realize like, oh, I'm annoyed because I'm feeling this way. You know what I mean? Like, I'm annoyed because I feel like this person is annoyed at me. So then I'm annoyed.
Yeah. You're trying to get ahead of the curve.
Yes, exactly.
You're annoyed at me. I've been annoyed at you for 3 more days.
So what's your problem?
I started on Tuesday. You only got here on Friday.
So actually my reason is way more valid.
My reason is way more valid.
Yeah, totally. In that book, I read The Art of Frugal Hedonism and I loved it.
I do want to read that.
It's fantastic.
I might borrow it from you down the line.
Yeah,
not
please.
right now, but soon.
Yeah, it's great. Talks about just like ways in which like you can save money, but the whole ethos of it is like, if you develop habits that don't rely on spending money and being a consumer, if you build an identity outside of being a consumer, which we all are now because of social media.
Yes.
Right? Like people's hobby are thrifting and fashion, which is fine. But I'm just saying again, like a lot of people's hobbies are shopping. You see that in the book community online hugely. It's no longer about like, there are creators that are really good for this, that are, you know, secondhand shopping and reading the books that they have or whatever. But more often than not, it's just like the Olympics of who can buy the most stuff.
Yes.
And display all the stuff that they have, right? So it's about building an identity outside of that and not spending money.
Yes.
Again, it's all really ideas that like all of our grandparents just know as like war rationing or whatever, or being poor.
Yes.
But like, I think we get separated from these ideas, even if there's stuff that could really help us, right? But one of the things they were talking about is being like, you know, they say don't work with your friends, but that's not always great because that means that working with your friends means you have to hold yourself to a higher standard of how you act. Like in a good way. Like you should depend upon people in your life. You should enjoy working with people in your life. And also like you should understand that like you're going to fuck up, your friends are going to fuck up. That's okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's whereas like if it's just somebody you never know,
yes,
then you can just fire them with no explanation or whatever. You know what I mean? As opposed to being like, no, it's hard, but it's worth it, you know?
Yeah, I've never understood that, like, don't work with your friends, like, don't have friends as roommates. Like, I think it's more like, it's situational. Like, you can have a terrible falling out with, like, a friend who's a roommate, and you can have a terrible falling out with a friend you never live with. Same way that, like, I don't know. Like, I do agree. Like, there have been friends who I've worked with and I knew it was a bad idea to work with that friend and then we're no longer friends. But, like, most of the time I'm now.
Yes, it's not a blank check.
Yeah, now I, like, almost only work with my friends.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I only work with you because you're my friend.
Exactly.
I never would have just found you on, like, a Reddit forum or something but, like, want to start a podcast. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it
of
doesn't make any
course.
sense.
You want to start it with your friend because also, like, if we weren't friends, I would not do this every week.
Yeah.
I'd get so fucking sick of it. You know, like,
yeah.
So it's like, that's part of it. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's good.
Funny.
It's funny. Ha 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 ha.
Haha. Aren't we all laughing?
Yeah. But at the end of the day, again, it's like being an adult is kind of understanding, like, at 25, I'm not going to hold myself to the same I'm going to hold myself to a much higher standard than at 19. Like,
oh, yeah.
I have, you know, I am not looking back on that. And again, exactly like you said, being like, it wasn't my fault entirely. Like, it wasn't like I was acting whack alone. But I'm also like, I definitely could have acted better.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Absolutely.
Whereas now I can choose peace.
Yeah.
Back then it was like there was no option to choose. I was simply choosing violence.
Well, I was talking about, like, then I'll relate this back, but I was talking to someone recently about, like, little kids and how, like, people were like, kids aren't sad, they're so happy. And it's like, no, kids are so, like, dealing with sadness that they've never felt before, and then confusion because every single feeling is brand new to them.
It's crazy, man.
And it's kind of the same way, like, I think you have that again when you're like 18, 19, 20 and you start to have all these adult experiences for the first time. And so it's like you're actively feeling things for the first time while also having no coping mechanisms.
Totally. And things are just messy. Like, you're an adult, but you still are like this open wound. Like,
yeah.
I really think, and I love not to bring everything back to improv, but like that wedge happened because like I was in an improv group.
Oh, yeah.
With a bunch with people and she wasn't in it.
Oh.
And I think it made her feel bad, which is like fair. If it wasn't me, like I would feel bad too. But it again, it's not personal. And that was with a different famous TikToker. So there's, you know, layers there. Although that's, you know, she doesn't come off bad in that story at all. It's Veronica is so cool or whatever. I love Veronica. But like, you know, that in that relationship, this like ex-roommate of mine, like, I think that starts making somebody feel a type of way.
Yeah.
And also living with someone, you're just going to drive each other crazy. That's part absolutely. Of it again. But you don't have the foresight that we would have now to be like, oh, if somebody's driving me crazy, I'm not going to act on it.
Yes.
I think I have an ability now that most people do.
To like back away from it a little bit.
Yeah, be like, okay, I don't have to not do anything about this. But I should not act now when I'm angry.
Yeah,
like when I'm actually feeling angry.
Yeah.
And I think it was also a bad time. Like 19 was not a good year for me. Like I did not feel good about myself. I did not feel good about my career. I felt really like I deserved more out of my career. So I think also like I was much more easily provoked than now where I'm kind of like, my life is great. Like why would I be triggered?
Yeah. I feel you, dude. No, it is like, it's nice. I love getting older for the most part, other than
awesome.
like the random aches and pains that are coming up. Don't know what the fuck's that about, but like,
Love it.
It is nice just to be able to deal with your life. It's lovely in that way.
Of course. Like I've talked to one of our friends who's a bit younger about just like turning 25 and your brain cooking. And it's like,
it feels
game
amazing.
changing. It's game, like it literally is like overnight. You're like, oh,
all right. Hey. What's up, guys?
You still obviously feel the things that you feel, but you just have a greater understanding of being like, this is not about me. I'll be fine. I'll be so 100%. Fine.
100%.
There's still moments where you feel crazy.
Also, like roommates are so interesting because I do feel like, because I can feel myself doing it too, where like I just project things onto my roommates, and I always have. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Like it's just like kind of like I'm really mad about this bigger thing going on in my life.
Yes.
But like,
you're here.
But you're here, so I'm really mad about the dishes.
Yeah, and it's not about anything else.
And it's not about anything else.
It's about the
dishes. And that's what I'm mad about, and that's what's ruining my life, not this other interpersonal
and it's real.
Layered problem.
Of course.
It's that you left rice grains in the sink. Why? And that is ruining my life.
Or not, yeah.
And wrecking me financially, by the way. That's your fault too. Yeah. Just so you know.
And I'm blaming you.
And it's your fault, and fix it.
No, totally. It is so fucking funny. It's also like, I think I have a greater understanding now for like, that you can just sometimes, that people, in the same way in a romantic relationship, your attachment styles can just like not be compatible. Mm-hmm. And you can just trigger someone. It's the same thing in a platonic relationship too. Understanding, like, and I think a lot of earlier roommate or like friendship fights, the fight was triggered by like, do not have friends that are severely mentally ill. Like I'm simply not interested in not being friends with somebody who is deeply traumatized. And that's on me.
No, I'm the same. If you don't have problems,
then I'm not interested. So first of all, I'm never around anybody well-adjusted. Mm-hmm. Or like they can be well-adjusted, but they're coming from a place
of insanity.
They've had to overcome it. And then sometimes, like I'm a bit more like reserved. When I feel overwhelmed, I pull back. I can be a bit more like avoidant when I'm feeling a type of way. And if somebody is a bit more anxious, that can trigger them. Where like they see that and think that I think that I'm better than them, or I'm not talking to them, or whatever. Mm-hmm. So part of getting older is also, of course, like understanding how you come off and being like, okay, I'm not going to do this.
Oh yeah,
like, I'm not going to trigger people.
Oh yeah, well even like, and I'll talk about it on the podcast, but like you just text way less now due to your flip phone. Yes. And so for the last since you've got it, I've had to be like, I don't think she's mad at me.
No, it's just a fucking nightmare to text. It's an absolute waking fucking nightmare.
I'm a little bit more nervous now than I was before. But
I'll just call you. Well, the other thing too is I used to cold call you, but now I'm worried you're going to be like in bed with your girlfriend. So I don't want to cold call you.
That's fine.
Okay.
I don't give a shit. You think I'm ever in bed with my girlfriend?
Well, I guess also she has a regular job. So I'm like, it's 10 a.m. When it's like, it's 10 a.m. on Tuesday. Like,
yeah.
People have
she goes
jobs.
To work at 6 a.m. and comes home at 8 p.m.
You're like, you can call.
Girl does not sleep.
Yeah.
This is my girlfriend's schedule. Do you want to hear it? Because it's actually terrifying.
Yeah.
Okay. So she wakes up 5 o'clock in the morning. Okay.
Already? Fucking insane.
5 a.m. Already insane. She eats pre-made egg potato mix. Okay.
Wait. What is that?
It's like potatoes and eggs pre-made. Like she makes it and then she eats it in the morning.
Like scrambled eggs?
Like scrambled eggs and potatoes in a mix. Yeah.
Work?
Okay. Then she goes to the scariest sweat and tonic class you've ever heard of in your life.
Yeah, of course.
It's one where they put you in a room for an hour and yell at you.
Great.
While they try and make you work out to failure. Okay.
Awesome.
And then she goes to her job for anywhere from she'll go, I don't know how it works, but she has to like bill certain hours or whatever. Yeah. So she'll be like, I only billed 9 hours today. I'm failing at my job, but she'll be in the office from like 7 to 7.
So yeah.
And then sometimes her office orders food, and so she'll also eat there.
That's insane.
And then sometimes she'll come home, she'll work more.
Wow.
And then she goes to bed at 9:30 or 10 p.m.
Wow.
It's crazy.
It's
the
wild.
Craziest schedule I've ever heard of. But now she's gotten into reading, but she can't do anything in moderation. So she'll just like read a whole book at night.
Wow. That's wild.
No, this girl, do not worry about cold calling me.
She's not there.
She's not there. Do not worry about it. She is out.
Wow.
I went over to her house a few days ago, and literally, I got there. We put on like a TV show. I fell asleep. I woke up. She was gone to work. Just so you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so don't worry about it.
Okay. Shall we talk about
I guess we'll get into
Grimace?
it.
I guess. I just realized it's... All right, so today we are talking about Uncle O'Grimace.
Okay. I'm
Yes.
excited for this
And
one.
the Shamrock Shake.
Well, because I saw this in a meme, and I kind of thought it
Yes.
was fake. And when I sent it to you, you were like,
This is real.
this is real, and I'm obsessed with it.
Yes.
And I was like, okay.
Well, we'll get into it.
Oh, it's fake.
Yes. I fucking hate doing this podcast sometimes because like sometimes you'll like find you'll be aware of a really fun story that you kind of take as fact.
Yeah,
and then I'll
it's sad.
do research and it'll be fake. And I'm
Mhm.
like,
Oh.
I could have just gone on thinking this was real. Like life was
Yeah.
so beautiful when I thought this
Damn.
was possible. But I think there's still something worth like talking about it because it's equally interesting, like the stories that we latch
Yeah.
onto, even if they're not like real. But we'll get into it.
Yeah.
But yes, it's like the Shamrock Shake, which is like the McDonald's shake that's for St. Patrick's Day.
Huge.
Massive.
Well, and you know, every year I get so excited for the Shamrock Shake. I drink one, I make myself physically ill, and then I
You
don't.
don't have another shake.
Like, I don't have another milkshake for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
It's so much milk.
Yeah. It is. And the McDonald's ones are fucked, dude.
It's also minty.
Yeah, that is insane.
It is crazy.
Yeah. I obviously haven't had one in like a long time. I used to have them during the pandemic when I was taking driving lessons and they dropped me off by Dundas West Station, that parking lot. And there's a McDonald's attached to the Dundas
that
West
is
Station.
a good McDonald's.
And I would like be sobbing because I'm horrible at I did not pass my driver's test. I'm not good at
I was
driving.
going to say you don't drive.
No, I'm really bad at
Oh,
it.
you tried to drive.
I
and you
tried. I took
couldn't.
driving lessons and I
babe.
couldn't do it.
That's
the thing.
so
People think
sad.
that I do it because I'm scared, like a regular Gen Z. I've tried and I'm bad. Like I
didn't know you tried to get your license.
and couldn't. Yeah. Well, yes.
Oh, that makes me so
I
sad.
couldn't remember which turns in the heat of the moment were illegal or not. So I would be doing like illegal turns in the middle of the intersection, almost causing accidents, and also under the pressure, you had to wear a mask because it was a pandemic.
Oh, no.
And I have glasses, so I would start sobbing. And then that would fog up my glasses and I have to pull over. I'm really bad at driving.
This is so
like I'm
sad.
bad at driving.
I don't know why it like hurts my soul so
But
much
I
that you
tried.
tried.
I know.
Is so sweet.
There's
and
parts
sad.
of me as a person, and I think this is true for most people, that are genuinely heartbreaking when you think about it. Like not
Oh, yeah.
in a way of like any actual bad stuff happening to me, but just being like, oh,
Oh, that's so
no.
sad.
But yeah, so I would then like be like wrecked emotionally from trying to drive and being bad at it.
Oh, God.
And I'd go to that McDonald's and I'd get on the subway to like go home, like, and just be drinking a McDonald's, like straw under K95.
Oh my God.
It's like a true depression meal. I feel like I haven't had it in a while because of the boycott. But
Girl, the boycott.
girl, the boycott.
Girl, the boycott. The great thing about boycotting McDonald's is it makes you healthier.
I know.
McDonald's isn't even cheap anymore, at least in Canada.
No, it's not. Same thing with the Starbucks boycott, where I'm like,
Oh,
I'm
so-
saving money.
I'm saving money and now I have to drink good
Coffee.
local coffee.
I know.
God damn it. What am I
know.
supposed to do?
It's actually kind of improving my life and making a stand. Girl, the boycott.
Girl, the boycott.
It's me to Uncle O'Grimace. Girl, the boycott.
Girl, the boycott. I think the only reason you should like you get a pass for Starbucks is if like there's only a Starbucks around you.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Like
know what
we
I
live in
mean?
the city, there's no excuse. But
Yeah,
like if
exactly.
you're out in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, I'm not gonna be like, girl,
No,
the
girl,
boycott.
the boycott.
So,
Girl.
girl. So Uncle O'Grimace is Grimace's uncle.
Okay.
He's a character that was introduced by McDonald's in 1975 to promote their Shamrock Shake.
And Grimace, if you're forgetting, is a large purple pervert.
Yes, which I've learned the character is not just a blob. He's supposed to be the human embodiment of a taste bud. Why the
No.
fuck is he fuzzy?
No.
That's true. I looked it up.
What?
I was like, what is Grimace? And he's supposed to be a taste bud.
Ew.
Why is he furry and purple?
Ew.
Isn't that crazy?
He's a furry purple taste bud?
yeah.
What, has he got like freaking laryngitis or something? Like what's
He's got black hairy tongue disease.
got black hairy tongue? That's disgusting.
I know.
I already hated him.
I know.
Why
And
is
now
this
you know
in
he's a
Grimace?
taste bud.
Like,
Exactly.
Grimace. Shut up.
So he's a character, obviously.
Okay.
And all the McDonald's characters. This was a big thing in like the 70s
I'm so angry right now.
about the Grimace taste bud thing.
Ew. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're all associated. get on. There's going to
Okay.
be more information that's also fucking annoying. So every single character is like associated with a like an item on the menu.
Yes.
So there's like the hamburglar
Hamburgers.
I
No,
can't
he's
remember.
French fries.
French fries, yeah.
Okay.
Grimace is milkshakes.
Because I guess he can't be the human embodiment of milk.
Yeah, but like what about Grimace? First of all, Grimace is a facial expression. It has nothing to do with a milkshake.
Yeah.
He's a taste bud. Okay. I would argue a taste bud can taste any of the items on the McDonald's menu. Why the fuck? What about him is connected to milkshakes?
And you know what? The worst part about this is instead of Grimace, we could have had a dripping wet man.
That's what I'm saying.
Which is covered in milkshake, dripping everywhere.
Yeah.
And we got deprived of that.
Yeah.
We could have had wet milkshake. Wet milkman.
Yeah, well, we could have the milkman.
Wet milk.
And he's a wet milkman.
Wet.
Is there any other kind?
Milk blob.
Exactly.
Yum.
So that pissed me off to begin with. He's Uncle O'Grimace. So Grimace was introduced before, but Uncle O'Grimace is introduced in 1975 to promote the Shamrock Shake.
Yes.
Now, the Shamrock Shake was first introduced in 1967 by franchise owner Hal Rosen at McDonald's in Connecticut.
Okay.
To get this information, I had to read a newspaper clipping online. I felt fucking crazy. I clicked on a website. It was like a website of newspaper clippings.
Jesus Christ.
Isn't that crazy?
People do not care about the origin of the Shamrock Shake.
No.
Okay, gorgeous.
Insane.
Love.
So it was originally just a vanilla milkshake that was dyed green, mint green, the color of Irish.
This is it's the same theory with the green beers on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, color, but I would argue
It's just
green.
beer. It's green.
I would argue at least green beer is a closer kind of deep green that you see on the Irish flag.
Mm-hmm.
Mint green is just
It's just mint.
It's just
mint green.
It's just mint green.
It's giving
the color of Ireland.
The
mint
color
green.
mint green. You know those minty Irish people?
They love mint.
They love mint in Ireland.
Yes. So it was invented.
Irish people sound off in the comments.
If you love mint.
Scale of 1 to 10. And favorite type of mint. Mine
Yes.
is spearmint.
Ooh, I like peppermint.
Yeah, you would.
Fuck.
I like peppermint too.
So it was invented to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. And then 3 years later in 1970, it's adopted like nationally to all of the McDonald's locations. Okay.
Classic.
So in 1974, 4 years after it's adopted at all of the franchises of McDonald's, every purchase from a Shamrock Shake is used to fund the first Ronald McDonald House for kids with cancer.
That's nice.
Yeah. So, win for the Shamrock Shake. And that's kind of how it got famous. Okay.
That's nice.
So that's 1974. 1975, the next year, Uncle O'Grimace is introduced to the general public in a commercial with Grimace. I'm going to play just a little bit of this commercial into the microphone because it's actually insane.
Ronald, everything looks green.
Oh, green butterflies.
And green footprints.
Uncle O'Grimace.
Hello, boys. I'm back, and I'm painting everything green to match me Shamrock Shakes.
Shamrock Shakes are back.
Like, that feels fucking racist.
Uncle
Why the fuck does
O'Grimace?
he sound like that?
That's crazy.
Hello, boys. It's me, Uncle O'Grimace, and I'm painting everything green.
Can I just say, okay, so there's a sketch comedian in Toronto named Cam Wiley who does a sketch called Grimace is My Wife with Grimace from McDonald's. Very funny sketch. But in it, he says, like, that Grimace is mine. Like Grimace pussy.
Uncle O'Grimace.
Yeah, which is crazy. So it's like Uncle Grimace pussy is all I'm hearing.
Uncle O'Grimace pussy.
Uncle O'Grimace pussy. Grimace son of pussy.
Son of pussy. Yeah, of course.
Of the pussies.
So that's one of the first commercials. I think that one's actually from 1978. There's one from 1975 as well. But
I'm
he's
sure it's a lot
introduced
better.
He's just introduced the public every March. It's time for the Shamrock Shake. That's my Uncle O'Grimace impression.
The Shamrock Shake.
Here's some Uncle O'Grimace lore. He resides in a small island off the coast of Ireland called Shamrock. That's fucking racist. I'm sorry to tell you. That feels racist to me.
Yeah.
He enjoys nature walks, bowling, and playing the bagpipe at the Shamrock Street Fair and Music Festival.
Just one bagpipe.
Yeah, I guess. And also, isn't bagpipes Scottish? Yeah.
Also, why is if he's living on a rock, why is there a bowling alley?
Yeah.
Why are they like, you don't get a grocery store, but we get a bowling alley? Fucking gentrification.
And we get a street fair and music festival for the fucking yuppies. Yeah. So after his introduction, Uncle O'Grimace appears regularly at McDonald's advertisements for about a decade, promoting the Shamrock Shake every year.
Okay, huge.
Right? Then in the mid-'80s, he disappears.
Oh,
He's phased out.
okay.
In actuality, just a part of a rebranding effort by McDonald's, basically for like the 90s, even though it's happening mid-80s, but for the 90s to streamline their characters. So they got rid of other characters such as Mayor McCheese.
Fuck! No!
Rest in peace, Mayor McCheese.
You're fuck that.
And Birdie the Early Bird, who I've never heard of.
Birdie the Early... What is that, pancakes?
Coffee, maybe?
Birdie
Just
the
a
Early
little
Bird?
girl.
No, I know Birdie the Early Bird. What the hell?
It's Okay, so you're right. It's
Wait.
pancakes. It is pancakes.
Is she pancakes?
Yeah.
That's actually crazy that I called that she was pancakes.
Okay,
I'm
let's
sorry.
see what Mayor McCheese is. It's
Wait,
got to
but
be
I
it.
remember Birdie the Early Bird being like at McDonald's when I was
Maybe
a kid.
they brought her back, but they did phase her out in the 80s. Okay,
That's
Mayor
crazy.
McCheese looks fucking
Well, I
insane.
know Mayor McCheese because Mayor McCheese has got a huge fucking hamburger as a head. He
Why
looks
is-
terrifying.
Why the fuck is this? Nobody else is. The Hamburglar is a guy.
Yeah, no.
He's not a hamburger. But Mayor McCheese is a hamburger. So does that mean that the Hamburglar is just stealing the heads
Yeah.
of Mayor McCheese's
He's murdering
kids?
Mayor
He's-
McCheese's children.
He's not a burglar.
No,
He's
he's
a
a murderer. He's a murderer. He's a mass murderer, and it's honestly, and it's targeted to.
He's
Hamburgers.
doing hate crimes.
He's doing hate crimes against hamburgers.
That's insane.
No, the McDonald's team, when they were coming up with the mascots, they had no fucking consistency. They were like, half these characters are going to be just men,
And the other are going to be anthropomorphic taste buds and a guy with a hamburger
and
head.
one's going to be a bird,
Yeah.
and we're going to have a bird there.
There's also going to be a bird there. Only animal.
Only animal.
The only animal.
And guess who, and there are no women, by the way. The
Well,
woman's a
early
bird.
Yeah.
Well, the
What are
woman's a bird.
I'm going to look at what are the other McDonald's
The woman's a bird. The hamburger and the taste bud are
Also,
are
bring
fat
these-
men.
Bring these characters back. Okay, yeah.
That's
So we
what I'm
obviously have
saying.
Ronald McDonald, human.
Children just have influencers now. We used to have disjointed characters.
Okay, a lot of them are little furry, kind of like they look like puffles
Oh, I
from Club
remember
Penguin.
those puffles.
There's a pirate.
Chicken nuggets. A
Who
pirate?
the fuck is that?
I do not remember a pirate.
No.
This is a Mandela effect. Wait,
Yeah.
can I see the pirate? No, that pirate's not real.
And who the fuck is this guy? Just a mad scientist holding eggs.
What?
Who are you?
Is that a chicken?
No, that's a man. Okay,
Guys, this is terrifying.
here, let me see if
I
I'm,
do
I'm
not
on the
like this.
McDonald's wiki. Okay, Captain Crook is one.
Oh,
That's
does
the guy.
Does he also steal hamburgers?
I guess so.
Does he also kill Mayor McCheese's children?
Okay, Captain Crook. He's a McDonald Land pirate character appearing in commercials. Okay, the character is comparable to the Hamburglar, but rather than hoarding hamburgers, he tries to steal Filet-O-Fish sandwiches.
Shut the fuck up.
That's insane. Okay, I want to find out this egg guy.
Girl, no one wants your Filet-O-Fish. You can keep them.
His name is, it's just Professor.
Oh, yeah.
Professor is a bearded scientist type character in a lab coat. He serves as McDonald Land's local inventor and researcher. He invented live talking delicious food items called McNugget Buddies. So they're not eggs he's holding. He invented the McNuggets that talk, I guess.
That look like eggs?
Well, they're
Or
just
are they
no,
the
they just look
fluff
like
balls?
eggs to me, but they're not.
God, this is so confusing.
What is this lore?
They should make the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
The
Like, how
McDonald's
long
lands.
until they start adapting these into, like, tragic backstory type movies?
Oh my god, they have do you know what I didn't know this. They have the Griddler.
The Griddler?
The Griddler
Like
is a
the
McDonald.
Diddler?
No, like,
The
like
Griddler
Riddler,
Diddler?
like the Riddler.
Oh, like the Riddler? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my mind went to Diddler. Don't worry about that.
There are no pictures of the Griddler himself on the internet.
It's been wiped.
He has been mentioned in a post from the official Ronald McDonald's Instagram account, confirming his existence while not proving any visual evidence.
No. That's terrifying.
What? Why won't you show us him?
He's been scrubbed. Oh my God. He was offensive, wasn't he? He
Well,
was
there's
racist.
no pictures of him. We don't know.
That's crazy.
Okay.
The hell was the Griddler? You know what? I bet my mother has a McDonald's commercial with him taped.
Well, that would
somewhere.
be huge.
That would be huge. Someone on Reddit's got to have the Griddler.
No, there's no pictures of him online.
Griddler heads, sound off in the comments. Where can we find a picture of the Griddler?
No, I don't want a grill. I want a picture of the Griddler.
I want a like gritty retelling of the Griddler starring Jeremy Strong,
He's the Griddler.
and then finally get his Oscar.
Making a monster.
Making a monster. That's terrifying. I miss, man, Does it ever kill you just thinking about how much these people must have gotten paid to design these crack-ass characters?
I know.
Like, these people were walking out with $300,000 for, like, a character design of a man with a hamburger head. Like, in the 90s. And then they take it and they buy 3 houses for, like, $100,000
dude.
a pop.
I know.
Like, dude.
I know.
What the hell?
I know. That sucks, man.
And then you go and do a bunch of cocaine.
Because, this was in the 80s, so they're doing the 80s. The houses are worth millions of dollars now.
Yeah. They go home, buy, like, 5
Fuck your secretary.
houses, fuck your secretary, go home, fuck your wife, do a bunch of cocaine.
Jerk off to a picture of the Griddler.
Put on Michael Jackson's Bad and dance.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
What a life.
Yeah.
What a life. And then do it all again the next day.
So, of course, we're here for the Uncle O'Grimacy ties to the IRA.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
Mm-hmm.
Now, first, let me tell you what the IRA is to people who don't know. I know you know. I know a lot of people listening know.
But you know what? Sometimes, like, I do know, but sometimes someone will just, like, drop a new IRA fact, and I'm like, do I know what the IRA is?
This is a huge, just, like, basic.
Yeah.
This is not a deep dive in any way.
No.
People know more than what I'm saying right now. So the original IRA is formed in 1919 as a successor to earlier nationalist groups like Irish Volunteers and the Irish Citizen Army. If you didn't know, Ireland was occupied by England, basically, right?
Yes.
Like they stole their land and
The British
occupied
Empire.
them, starved them, like truly occupied, destroyed their language, like bad shit.
Yes.
Bad.
Colonization,
love. So the primary purpose of the IRA was to use arms resistance against this British rule in Ireland, and this was specifically during the Irish War of Independence, which was from 1919 to 1921. The IRA employed guerrilla tactics such as ambushes, raids, sabotage, and they did this to force the British into negotiations with them, right? Being like, you can't just do this, like, we're gonna fight you.
Yeah, we got to negotiate.
Yes. So after the Civil War, there was like a split in the IRA who were pro the treaty that allowed for like Northern Ireland to be a part of the UK.
Yeah.
Right? Occupied still. And then the rest of Ireland could be its own sovereign nation, right? So there was IRA members that were pro that and anti that, but then the IRA quickly became like anti the treaty, right?
Yes. United Ireland.
Yes. So they refused to recognize the legitimacy of both the Irish Free State and Northern Ireland. They're like, no, Irish unification, baby.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen. So during the Troubles, which spanned from 1968 to 1998, the Provisional IRA waged a violent campaign against the British security forces and loyalists in Northern Ireland. Again, trying to free Northern Ireland. They carried out attacks in England as well. This is where, of course, Lord Mountbatten got absolutely exploded. If you recall.
Yeah.
Fucking exploded.
Just fucking blown the fuck up.
Just blown up.
Yeah.
And I don't condone terrorism. Wink. But what an effective act of terrorism.
Yeah.
We're going to blow up the future King of England's circuit father.
Yeah.
What about it?
What about it? We're going to blow him up. Not just kill him. We're going to blow him up.
He's gone.
It's like that Monty Python sketch where the people practicing the art of not being seen. Have you seen that?
No.
Dude, oh man, that sketch makes me laugh. It's just like, Mrs. Willoughby of 22 Dong Bingo Way is practicing the art of not being seen. And then they'll be like, stand up, Mrs. Willoughby. And then she'll stand up and they blow her up. She's got a lot. She's not perverse in the art of not being seen.
That's funny.
It's really good. I'll show you it.
So their tactics during the Troubles included bombings, assassinations, and other forms of violence, resulting in approximately 1,800 deaths by the early 1990s. Famously, that's why my family came over here. My mom, for the longest time, I think I've told the story in the podcast, told me the story growing up that we left when the IRA got too violent, which sounds like a lie. And then right before my grandma died, like the Christmas before, she died in February, the Christmas before, she was like, oh, that was a lie. No, we left because my grandfather, my grandfather's brother would go on top of the police station, bang his feet on the roof.
Yeah.
So that the British police officers would come out and then shoot them. I did that a couple times. And not to victim blame.
No, but stop coming.
The first time,
you gotta
don't do it anymore.
Learn from your mistakes.
The first time, fair. You weren't expecting that.
Yeah.
The second time, for sure, don't do it again. Don't come out again.
Well, you and Brendan also. Brendan came over during not him, but his family came over during the Troubles.
Yeah.
In like the 70s or whatever.
Yeah. And like, fair enough. I think if you're trying to raise a family and
Yeah.
your brother has shot some police officers, you might want to get out of there.
Yeah, you might want to dip.
Yeah. So that's why they came over. In 1994, the IRA declared a ceasefire, which led to their political representatives being included in peace negotiations. This process culminated in the 1998 Good Friday Agreement, which established a power-sharing government in Northern Ireland. Okay, so that's the IRA. But when people talk about the IRA in, let's say, like popular, like vernacular, right? Outside of Ireland, just in like the popular kind of like everyday, they're basically referring to like freedom fighters fighting for the liberation of occupied land via violent tactics.
Yes.
Right? Hate the British. That's kind of the basic overall. If somebody's like referencing the IRA, I think oftentimes what they mean.
Yes, for sure.
So there is a persistent legend that Uncle O'Grimace was retired due to his controversial ties to the IRA. There's a screenshot which you would send me, which makes the rounds before like every March about this, where it's a screenshot of his McDonald's like wiki profile. And it says, I'm just going to read it. Uncle O'Grimace was quietly phased out of McDonald's marketing after a few years, due in part to an alleged incident in Philadelphia in 1978, where the person portraying him made statements in support of the IRA and that British soldiers were better dead than alive.
Which is just so like,
fucking funny.
Even if not true, that is so funny.
It's so funny.
The fucking like grim pussy's ass uncle who's racist.
Uncle O'Grim Pussy saying that British soldiers are better dead than alive.
Yeah, it's just like a big green fuck.
Yeah. Hoi-toy-toy. That's how he fucking sounds.
Hoi
It's just a
toy.
racist.
Hoi-toy-toy, the only
Irish-
good British soldier is a dead one.
You're like, what?
Chicken nuggets.
That's not what you said. That's actually pretty. That's funny.
That's pretty good.
So
Did we just write a sketch?
Did
we just write a sketch?
Yes.
Anyway, sorry, continue.
So this never happened.
Aw.
Which sucks. Dude.
Nothing fun ever happens.
It's referring to two satirical articles about Uncle O'Grimace, one from The Onion and one from the Philly Voice,
okay.
that have been taken kind of as fact.
Okay.
The first is an Onion article from 1997. So this was the earliest known connection between Uncle O'Grimace and the IRA. The article is Sinn Féin leaders demand year-round Shamrock Shake availability. Just basically being like about the Irish, like the Troubles.
Yeah.
Part of the political groups. Request is more Shamrock Shakes.
Yes.
Not to explain an Onion article to you, but there you go.
No, I get it.
But this is a quote from the Onion article. In a videotaped statement from an IRA safe house somewhere near Belfast, Uncle O'Grimace, the most radical member of the Grimace family, demanded the immediate loosening of Shamrock Shake restrictions throughout Northern Ireland. Release the shakes to us at once, O'Grimace said, or the lives of your children will be forfeit. It's a funny Onion article. I love the
No,
Onion
that's
for that.
good. That's good.
So this kind of went viral at the time and whatever. It was a joke, but it was obviously
When
a joke.
was this put out? When was the article?
1997.
The Onion's old.
I know. I was
What the hell?
surprised.
Okay.
The second article is in 2017, which is by the Philly Voice. It's an article by the Philly Voice. That's basically just a review of the new chocolate Shamrock Shake.
Ew.
And it references this.
Do they still dye green? Sorry.
Yes,
Ew.
it's half brown, half green. it's
Come on.
Yeah.
No.
Why must we play God? That's,
Just
the
the
chocolate Shamrock Shake,
No.
an American Prometheus or whatever. What's the subtitle of Frankenstein? It's something Prometheus.
Prometheus. American Prometheus is Oppenheimer.
Oh, okay. And it's just Frankenstein or Prometheus.
Prometheus.
That's what it is. It's Frankenstein or a modern Prometheus.
A modern Prometheus?
Maybe.
I'm going to look this up because now I'm curious.
Okay.
In your head, zombie.
Yeah, Frankenstein or the modern Prometheus.
Nice. Yeah, and then Oppenheimer is an American Prometheus.
There we go.
There we go.
I
Wow.
know you guys care. So this was just a review of the chocolate Shamrock Shake, and this is what they say in the article. The Shamrock Shake even had its own character in the McDonald land universe, Uncle O'Grimace. As you may have guessed, he was Grimace's Irish uncle. As you may have also guessed, he is not fondly remembered and even remembered at all. Although the character appeared in television commercials for a few years in the 70s and early 80s, Uncle O'Grimace was let go shortly after because of his controversial ties to the IRA. Now, the author, Brian Bierman, said that this was a joke and he thought he was like, I thought this was going to be taken in jest. Like, I was
But it was
referencing the
clearly a
Onion
joke.
article. This is a review for fast food. Like, it's not journalism.
Also, since I've never seen a review for fast food in my life.
We need to get the Philly voice.
You have to try
The chocolate Shamrock Shake.
the chocolate Shamrock Shake.
So, and then in 2021, this is what popularized, again, this like meme.
Mm-hmm.
The Odd Athenaeum published an article embellishing earlier claims, which gives us the story that we kind of know now to be that during like a St. Patrick's Day parade, the actor portraying Uncle O'Grimace in the costume got drunk, racist, and and then said what he said about the IRA and British soldiers better off dead than alive. This is not true, which sucks.
Yeah, that's too bad.
But that's where it came from. And this is the end of the story and it does have a happy ending because after nearly 4 Uncle O'Grimace-less decades this year, in February 2025, McDonald's brought back Uncle O'Grimace to promote the return of the Shamrock Shake to celebrate its 50th anniversary.
No
It's
way.
back. He's back. He's back.
Shut up.
I know.
Really? Okay, wait. That's actually huge. Okay, we didn't even know that when we said we do this.
No, we just thought it was funny. Okay, yeah, let's look at this. This is the Today Show. Does he talk on the
Shut
Today
up.
Show? This just feels so fucking racist. This
Is
song.
this from this year?
Yes.
Senator Grimace is here.
Hey, guess what he brought?
His joyful, generous, green Irish relative, Uncle O'Grimace.
Haven't seen Uncle Grimace in a while. He's a fan favorite. In the 70s, it's been decades since Uncle O'Grimace has graced us with his pleasure.
Talk about the IRA, you cowards.
Graced us with his pleasure is crazy.
I wish that they made him talk, but they don't.
Okay, but do
so
we
that's
know
the
for
story.
sure that never happened? You know what I mean? Like maybe
We don't know for
McDonald's is
sure.
a powerful company. Maybe they covered it up.
I hope that happened.
You know,
I hope that it really happened.
Sometimes narrative fiction is more powerful
And
than fact. Sometimes.
History is the stories we tell ourselves.
Exactly.
And we've talked about this before, which
fair.
is maybe not the best thing to say. And I feel like maybe it'll come back in my face and somebody will be like, well, actually, what about this? But I don't really care about the truth that much.
yeah, the truth is subjective.
I'm like, the truth, I don't really. You know, people are like, your facts aren't feelings. I'm like, I care way more about feelings than facts.
Yeah,
Which
'cause
maybe
if
it's
I'm-
not something you should be doing on a history podcast, but like, sorry.
Yeah, but if I'm feeling bad, that's a fact.
Sorry.
So I'm sorry. Eat shit.
Shall we do the last section?
Yeah. Okay, Slay.
Ready?
Let's make this tragedy about us.
This is the section of the podcast where we take a tragedy. We take this tragedy.
It is a
and
tragedy.
It is a tragedy, and make it about us.
It's a tragedy that this never fucking happened, honestly. I'm
I
pissed.
know it's a real.
I'm
it's a real-
irate.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
So Blair,
Yes.
pick another mascot or character.
Okay.
What are they canceled for?
Oh, okay. Wendy.
From Wendy's.
Wendy's is a turf.
Oh no!
Just straight up a turf. Yeah.
Oh.
No, she is a turf.
And she starts out kind of just being pedantic about language and philosophy, and
Yeah,
you're kind
yeah,
of like, she's like, I just think that is sex real? We need to talk about it, and you're like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But then it's like she's just kind of like soft launching the fact that she's just a full turf.
Yeah. And then she starts doing like those like Democrat makeup tutorials where she's just like, oh my, look at me. I'm like, she draws like a nose ring on her and she's like, is this what the left wants?
Oh no!
Like she's just like, and we're sort of like, what are you doing?
Wendy.
And then she like saddles up with Ronald McDonald and their like problematic age gap. And she's like, I don't care.
Yeah, and she's like, we're bringing back like hot conservatives.
Yeah. Like everyone at this party is hot.
Horrible.
And then she does a TikTok to that. Somebody's gotta wear a pretty skirt. Somebody's got. Have you heard that song? God
No.
Made Girls.
Oh, I
So
have heard
God
that.
Made
I have heard this
Girls.
song. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's like really terrible and uncomfortable.
that's horrible.
And then there was like a whole campaign that's like, well, your burgers are square. You made a circle burger into a square burger.
God made you in His image.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Okay, what about you?
Okay. Bluey. It's a Holocaust denier.
Oh no,
I know.
is Blue a mascot or is he just a children's
Character. I said mascot or character.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's
She's
too bad.
she's a Holocaust denier.
Yeah.
And she's doing it in like weird ways where it's more just she's like,
Yeah.
they didn't really burn books.
Yeah.
Hitler is just, as Amelia Perez said, Hitler's just a man with opinions.
A man with opinions.
And what a take.
What a take.
to have.
What a take.
What
I
a
mean-
take. As a trans woman, what a take to have. And Bluey is trans.
Bluey is trans. Bluey is blue for Israel, actually. So
Oh no.
yeah, too far.
No, it's not too far. Bluey, we know. Bluey's
Bluey,
politics are
yeah.
not great.
No, Bluey does not have good politics.
No.
I'm joking.
Well, that's that.
That's that.
That's happy St. Patrick's Day. I mean, it's a little far off, but we won't be celebrating on the actual day because it's in the midst of Toronto Sketch Fest.
You guys don't even understand the weight of Sketchfest.
You
right
don't.
now.
You can't.
No, you don't. It's like you don't get it.
So you can imagine it, and
You can
you will
imagine
be
it.
spiritually with us throughout the entirety of Sketchfest.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm not in it. I'm just there.
Yeah.
Let's be clear.
I am in it. I was
you
going to say
are.
I'm not in it
No,
either,
you're in
but
it.
I
I'm gonna come
definitely
see you.
am.
I'm gonna come see you.
Yay. No, it'll be fun. It'll be a good time. And so we're done the Six Wives of Henry VIII. I don't know when we're launching the next season.
Probably at the end of this month, right?
Yeah. So we might do a couple of in-between episodes.
Maybe like April we launch.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Love that.
But we'll be back too soon. And if you have guesses for the next season, let us know.
we love to see when you're wrong.
We love to see when you're
Or when
wrong.
you're
Maybe
right.
there'll be a prize.
Well, that's also sometimes when people guess wrong things, I'm like, well, this is what they want though.
Yeah, exactly.
They want it to be this, so we should probably do it.
Really what we're getting is intel.
Yeah. Data.
Yeah. Okay, well, we love you so much.
you,
Thank you again for tuning in. Bye.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network.